All right. Appreciate you hanging with us here on Springball Boulevard. Sorry for the short technical difficulty we had there. Probably a product of TPG and I just ranting and raving a little too much. Thanks, Zook, for getting us back up and running the train back on the tracks now. I'm glad you did take a break there for a second because I got the chance to see, and it's something I do want to touch on very quickly before we move into discussion about some of our favorite moments. The UFL. Official UFL PR Twitter account has announced the following transactions. The following players have had their contract terminated, which means they are headed to the NFL. Congratulations. We don't know teams yet. Congratulations to Arlington's defensive tackle, Jalen Redmond. DC's offensive lineman, Liam Fornadell. Well-deserved there. Memphis wide receiver, Dawood Davis, headed to the league. Michigan kicker, Jake Bates. Of course, we'd heard of him with the Lions. St. Louis offensive lineman Jared Jones-Smith, two-time All-UFL selection, headed back to the league. And how about this one, TPG? St. Louis running back Jacob Sailors headed back to the NFL with his contract in the UFL terminated. Talking to Stully after the game, and I think I would have put my money on Butler, but it's Sailors to the NFL.
Yeah, Sailors was awesome down the stretch this year. Small school guy coming into the league, didn't know a whole lot about him, but, really happy for a guy that, sees success in the UFL and hopefully, can translate that to the NFL. So best of luck to Jacob Sailors. But, if you're going to come back to St. Louis, I won't be too opposed to that either.
Oh, it just came in here. You're not going to believe it. Chicago Bears. I mean,
really?
Nope. Just kidding.
Oh, come on.
We'll find out tomorrow where a lot of these players will go. We get 2 Battlehawks. And then 4 different teams represented with Michigan, Memphis, DC, and Arlington, all getting players to the NFL. That's really cool, and we'll keep our eye on that. Wanted to give a big shout out to those guys as the first batch of UFL players headed to the NFL. All right, we were having a little bit of a discussion before we took a little bit of a break about some of our favorite moments. I touched on mine. If you didn't catch it before the break, it's Wade Phillips and how he handled himself after this game. Nothing but class. Just the epitome of class and the epitome of how to handle a loss and how to protect your players and how to stand up for and be the spokesperson for something that went completely awry from kickoff to the end of the game. I mean, there was no positives, and Wade Phillips was somehow able to create positives out of that situation. So my favorite moment with Wade this year was the TV guy stuff, right? Cole Kublik comes up to him on the sideline and he says, "Coach, why'd you kick the field goal, or why'd you kick off or punt there instead of go for it?" And then he goes, "2 timeouts." Then he goes on Twitter the day after and says, "Didn't appreciate the TV guy asking me questioning my coaching decision." Well, Devin Gardner for Fox comes out the next week and says, "Coach, I got to ask you, what'd you have for breakfast this morning?" And he goes, "I had eggs." Just a great moment. And then Gardner was like, "Really, eggs? You have waffles or pancakes?" And then Wade had a good one of his good belly laughs and just, you hate to see that it ended like this for San Antonio this year, him, spiking his headset, because so many moments of joy from Coach Wade, jumping up and down. We win the game, So hopefully those overshadow the negative moments.
And he did. He made 3 times, I think he made appearance.
Yeah. Anything from you, TPG, that stood out as one of your favorite moments of the UFL season?
Yeah, I kind of have a list. Starting off week 1, Matt, with your DC defenders, Spitgate with Gene DeLance getting tossed out after spitting on a Brahma's defensive
Feels
player.
like years ago.
Yeah, it definitely. And then when St. Louis and Birmingham faced off, you had Skip Holtz on the mic saying, throw the slant, and then back saying, slant. That's all they're doing. The game that me and you were at earlier in the year, Houston, St. Louis, that little fight that broke out on the sideline between Kiki Chisholm and Mark Thompson. Interesting stuff there. Trey Quinn flicking off Danny Etling when he's coming back to the bench. I don't know if you guys caught that. If you follow me on Twitter, I reposted that. That was a good one. And then
I don't follow you on Twitter.
Oh, sorry, Zach.
Some beef on the Boulevard.
I'll just text it to you then. And then, lastly, this, Garbers McFarland kind of exchange.
Yeah.
I wish we had the audio into what was said, and I would have loved to see what other players on that Brahmas team had to chime in. But yeah, I live for these moments, you know, especially in a league this small. They got to do something different to, you know, separate themselves from college football and the NFL. And,
Yep.
you know, we appreciate all the access. So thank you, UFL.
Well, Zook, the moments of you know, your top three have been a staple of yours all year, and we want you to lead us home here.
Yeah, so I had a few moments, and Wade, he topped the list. Greg Williams with the
Greg.
I'll stick a barefoot up your ass. The wet ass comment itself from the Houston.
Houston, yeah.
Oh.
Center getting sponged.
But there's one guy that has just lit up the scoreboard in my eyes.
Tarps off.
Tarps off. And we're talking about Cole Schneider. I mean, seriously, 4 appearances in the top 3, 2 interview finds because Stallions, if you take an interview on the sideline, Skip's taking it. And I mean, we're talking about magic, a whole lot of it, right?
Cotton.
So here's my favorite moments from Cole Schneider. Oh, boy.
Well, while Zook works to get that up with Cole Schneider, because obviously he is going to provide us great content all season long.
We're getting there.
Yeah, let's talk about Cole Schneider a little bit, TPG. Is he a 3-timer on a championship basis, or did he just join recently?
I don't believe.
Okay.
I think
let's
he might
see
have been a new addition of this team this year.
Schneider, shout out Nick Thorne of PFN, by the way, keeping us posted on roster moves all year. I got his spreadsheet up now. Looks like Cole Schneider out of UCF, undrafted in 2022, NFL stint with Green Bay, signed by Birmingham March of 2023.
Okay.
So that would make him a 2-time champion, correct?
Two-time.
Back-to-back for Cole. And we could talk about the Birmingham offensive line really all night and what they were able to do. I mean, you got pass rushers on that San Antonio defensive front, from Delonte Scott to Tim Ward. I mean, up and down the line. I know Jalen Twyman was a guy for the Brahmas who were out. He was out and they missed him, but like Prince Emili, and then even like the linebackers with Devontae Beckett and Jordan Williams sometimes getting after the passer. Wyatt Ray is another guy who is wrecking havoc on quarterbacks. So the Stallions offensive line did a hell of a job. And that's down Christian DeLauro, their starting left tackle, who they lost back in week 10 against Michigan. So phenomenal job by Cole as the anchor of all that. Zook, do we want to hit it? All right, we'll keep going here. So, yeah, here on the Boulevard, we've talked a lot about our championship takeaways. We showed you championship highlights as well. You know, TPG and I have talked about this game at length. You know, Zook has chimed in as well, really from both sides. And yeah, for me, the reflection, I guess, that I would give in a final closing sentiment here to kind of put a bow on the 2024 UFL season would simply be this. If you love football and you're a NFL fan, you're a college football fan, or you're both, and you've heard the narrative to sort of dismiss the UFL as anything with any sort of entertainment value, or this toxicity online with sometimes the major media personalities ignoring it altogether. I think Pat McAfee maybe could have done a better job. They started off strong with UFL content and then kind of tailed off towards the end of the year. Obviously, a lot of other sports going on, but I promise you, if you love college football, you will love the UFL. Just pick a team, right? And probably 90% of you are going to pick Birmingham because I know people love winning. But, you know, give a squad a chance. The St. Louis Battlehawks have an amazing fan base that still showed up to a championship game their team wasn't even involved in. They will be extremely interesting going forward to follow with A.J. McCarron. Will he play? Will he coach? Anthony Becht and that young staff, how many guys will they acquire throughout the offseason that want to play in that organization? Michigan will certainly be one to watch if you're in the Midwest and you want to identify with a physical, hard-nosed team with a coach like Mike Nolan with this defensive mindset and what they were able to do exceeding expectations with Mike Nolan becoming coach of the year. That might be a fan base that you want to get behind. It kind of feels like the Lions minor league football team at this point. Jake Bates is going to make the jump, and those fans are going to love that. Of course, the DC Defenders are a fan base that you're going to want to jump on if you're from the East Coast. We got the Beer Snake. We got one of the loudest stadiums in the league. And, you know, it was an off year this season, but they'll come back stronger. And then you got all your Texas teams between San Antonio, Arlington, and Houston that you know, Texas football is bigger than ever. So I encourage you as college football fan, NFL fan, to just pick a team, buy some merch, head out to a game next season, maybe get some season tickets. Always cheaper to do it that way. And don't quit on the UFL just because we had one bad game. It's going to be entertaining next year. And without further ado, I think we're going to go to Cole Schneider and his greatest moments of the season.
Guys, that if your name's Cole and you play center, you're just good. That's just the way that it goes. And this guy, Cole Snyder, is playing better this year than I ever even dreamed about playing. But we got to talk about this first and foremost. I asked one of your teammates about you, and he said he never wear a shirt, and that was it. What in the hell is happening here with this outfit?
It looks like a whole lot of magic to me, Cotton. I think there's a lot of things going on there. It's pretty special. You know, it's not just for the teams, not just for us.
Is this an overall? Is this a zip-up overall? It's a two-piece overall? Like, what are we doing?
Dealer's choice. Dealer's choice, really. I mean, it can be whatever you want it to be. Use your imagination.
Last time you put a regular shirt on?
What year is it?
2024.
Yeah, I'd say it's been some time.
Hey, your Coach D even wanted me to talk to you about this. He said, have some words with that man. We need to figure out what's going on.
Don't let him lie to you. He likes it. He likes it. Hey, it's all part of the game. It's all part of the game. We love it. We're having a good time. We're playing football. Can't beat that.
You are playing football at a high level. Just kind of give us, what's the secret sauce for this offensive line?
Oh, I would say brotherhood for sure. We're a tight-knit unit. A lot of the guys that like to play ball. I mean, got my guy D here, got a little D here. We got Italian D. I mean,
he's trying to get my cameraman's tights. Anybody else want to chime in on the outfit for today? Anything?
He's getting fined for getting interviewed during the game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm costing him a fine, fellas. I'll have to step away.
I'll take that accountability, brother. But I appreciate it. Had a blast and charge on, giddy up.
You say you want to see you run the ball more, right?
What's that?
You want to run the ball more?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Well, I just saw you yelling and throwing your helmet a minute ago.
Oh, that was wrong guy. Wrong guy.
Appreciate it.
Cole, I'm not sure I believe him.
Tarps off, baby. Cole Schneider. What a guy. You saw in the tour recap him standing up there talking to Danny Garcia, taking pictures with the tarp off and just an anchor for this Stallions team and really the epitome of giddy up and the epitome of Buckham and all the fan traditions that the Stallions do. Certainly a fan favorite and one of Zook's favorites as well. A guy that, you know, we didn't get the chance to give a freshie to, but we wanted to highlight him as just an electric factory all season with the UFL. Appreciate you hanging with us tonight, whether you're on YouTube, Twitter, or X, Facebook, and your podcast audience. Thank you for sticking with us through some of the technical difficulties. Of course, we've reached 51 total episodes now of Springball Boulevard, and we do this with a skeleton crew of Zook, I, and TPG, and each of us do 10 different jobs. So we really appreciate your patience and sticking through us and continuing to be live now in a time where, you know, we're just getting back from St. Louis, and we're putting this together on the fly, and we want to get you guys all our reactions and takeaways, and we hope we did a good job of that tonight. This is always the most difficult part for me, which is to sign us off. Another season of Springball Boulevard. This was so much fun. We came to you with a Survivor-style trailer in March where we voted Zook and his Seattle Sea Dragons out of the XFL.
We'll be back. We'll be back.
Yeah, I just think back to that and everybody who watched that trailer, us announcing we were back for season 2 and enjoyed that. I want to shout out the cast of that, first of all, from the very beginning. I want to shout out JT Hablett, Cody Brickle, Dane Boyer, and Steve Smith for getting us traction to everybody knowing that we were coming back for season 2 for playing each one of those teams in the XFL. And then, of course, everybody in the crew who helped out that night when we shot that commercial. And then we had TPG come along. I have to give a big shout out to the People's Gambler who reached out on a whim and pitched me a idea that we were not sold on at first and then became a staple of the show early on with his weekly DFS segments of Start, Sit, and Sleep. It's not about the results, right? It's about the ride. I think that's what we all learned this season. And TPG, I can't thank you enough, man, for being a contributor to Springball Boulevard. Got to go and have his first chance to cover a game at St. Louis when they hosted Houston. And I just saw his eyes light up, coming into the Dome. This is a guy who truly cares about spring football and advancing the sport just as much as we do. And as a former football player himself, he understands, I think more than even Zook and I do, what this means to these players and a lot of guys that he had played with and that, he played with in high school that, just needed a shot. And that's what it's all about and the appeal for spring football. And I have to give a shout out to him as well for coming live to Studio Z and doing all those shows with us during playoff week. That was awesome. We had some of the best shows we had ever produced. Of course, I got to thank the most valuable producer, Chris Zook, who really keeps me sane during the season. There are many times when I'm on the road and I have late nights with no sleep and I'm coming back to do a Sunday show. And I think Zook is a pain in my ass a lot of the time, but he keeps me motivated to keep going. And that's what I need because we're two different styles here on the Boulevard. And I need that. I need that push over the ledge to motivate me. And that's what he does. And he keeps the train on the tracks here. And just an honor to be able to go to our second straight championship game together and take it all in, from the pregame atmosphere to the travel to and from the game to meeting a lot of you and getting to introduce Zook to a lot of these different people that we meet is really cool. And I just love when we get to go on the road together. I want to thank everybody from the UFL, all the way from ownership and Redbird Capital and Fox and executives like Danny Garcia, like Russ Brandon, Doug Whaley, Daryl Johnston, everybody that makes this league possible from the very top of things. I want to thank everybody from ESPN, from the lead play-by-play crews like Mike Monaco, Sam Acho, Tom Luganbill, Stormy Bonantoni, everybody over there, Cole Kublik, Eric McLean, as well as people at Fox, Joel Klatt, Kurt Menefee. Great job on the call yesterday. And obviously all the production crew and everything that goes behind the scenes to present those broadcasts to us. And then everybody in the mid-level, all the UFL social media people, I think they continue to do an amazing job. They've really upped the bar from last year of impressions and everything that they've been able to create for this league. Have to thank all the marketing and ticket people as well. Shout out to Corey Helvey. He was a guy we got to meet on the road a few times, manages the ticket department for Birmingham and Memphis. Hell of a job, back-to-back years for him, and he's going to get a ring with the Stallions after suffering through seasons with the Tampa Bay Vipers and Orlando Guardians. So shout out to Corey. And then, of course, I've said it before, the wonderful folks at the UFL Communications Department. I want to thank Jeff Altstatter for setting us up with a ton of interviews and getting us credentialed for games. I also have to thank Bianca Gomez and Brian Stahl as well as everybody else from Sage Salmons to DeAndre Phillips and Andy Seeley in Memphis. And everywhere we went, we were treated with respect. And everywhere we went, we had a great time on the Battle of the Brands tour. And of course, the last people to thank are you, the listener and the viewer. We took a step forward in Springball Boulevard from season 1 to season 2. And, maybe we weren't as welcoming as some of the USFL fans would have liked us to be, but I like to think that maybe that's why you watched, because you got to dance in our grave when we were wrong, ultimately at the end of the year. So if you were a Birmingham fan, Memphis, Houston Gambler, or a Michigan Panther fan coming into this wondering who the hell are these guys, I appreciate anybody that was a new listener or a new viewer. And then, of course, the core of the show, is the diehard fans who have been here with us since day one, that continue to watch us live and continue to watch us grow from us, doing shows twice a week to now getting out and doing a show right after the games on Sunday, being able to do a highlight presentation. And we hope that you enjoyed kind of the transition we made from just doing recaps to now really amping up the production and giving you guys a full highlight show as well. UFL fans are really one of a kind. And if you care enough to watch UFL content, you are going to be somebody who in 10 years, when you look back, say, man, now everybody's watching shows like this and everybody's reading blogs and everybody's on Twitter or social media talking about the UFL. I think it's really going to get to that point someday, and it'll be cool that you got to be a day one riding along with Springball Boulevard for the first 2 seasons and watching us lose money and bets and, hanging with us for all the shenanigans and all the craziness that goes on throughout the course of our week. So I always say, when I open the shows and when I close the shows, that there's really no such thing as football season. And when football goes away, I get emotional because I love this game. I love this sport. I really never got a chance to play it much, but just to be around it and to tell the stories of the players and coaches, especially in spring football, who do participate and do play it, is a dream come true for me. And I think I could speak for Chris Zook and the People's Gambler as well, saying that this is never a situation that we pictured ourselves being in, to watch things like this unfold in front of our eyes and then get to the privilege of sharing them with you. This is a labor of love for us. This is not, we're in Studio Z here, right? We're not in downtown Los Angeles putting on this show for you. We love the UFL just as much as you guys do. And if I could do a show twice a week for the entire year, I would, but I'd probably end up in the hospital. I think that I gotta take a little bit of a break, track some of these NFL signings. As always, you can follow along with me at MattyFreshTV. Follow Zook on Twitter. Maybe he'll get a little more active in the offseason talking about, will the Sea Dragons come back in 2027? Follow him at ZHop Production. Then, of course, the newest member of our crew at Peoples_Gambler. Going to be awesome to have him embrace more of a full-time role next year as we talk about things going forward. But for now, that'll do it for Season 2 of Springball Boulevard. Thank you for tuning in to our season finale. And you always remember, there is no such thing as football season. We'll see you next year from Studio Z.